Thank you, Bill. Howdy.
Howdy.
Gosh, it's been a long time since I've been here at Aggie Park and see all of y'all's great smiling faces. As Bill said, I'm Amy Scott, class of 87, and I was the president of the club in 2019. And in accordance with our bylaws, the past president serves as chair of the nominating committee. So I want to take first a minute to thank the other members of the nominating committee for serving alongside me. They are Jerry Bolts, class of 71. Jose Ventura, class of 74. And Tim Mumford, class of 08. So I'm up here on behalf of the committee fulfilling our responsibility as directed in our bylaws, which state the committee shall submit to the membership at least 2 weeks before the date of the annual meeting and election a list of nominations for all the officers and directors to be elected at that meeting. No floor nominations will be accepted at the end. So we all know that this year, 2020, has been successful at diluting a lot of what we consider to be normal, but I am happy to report it has not watered down the enthusiasm of our members with respect to their willingness to and desire to serve and lead the San Antonio A&M Club. For president, Logan Richter, class of 05. Vice President, Reagan Fryland, class of 93. Treasurer, Becky Holmes, class of 82. And Secretary, Don Priest, class of 83. This year, we are voting to fill a vacancy on the board. One of our second-year directors, Clayton Wagner, class of 08, recently moved to Louisiana. So he had a remaining 1 year of his 3-year term that needs to be filled. Luckily, at the same time Clayton was elected 2 years ago, we elected 2 directors to fill vacancies for 2 of our first-year directors who could no longer complete their terms. And both of these directors have served the club with excellence and loyalty for 2 years, and they were set to roll off the board because they were in 3rd-year director slots. Elected to a 1-year term are Doug Bach, class of 84, and Dustin Timmerman, class of 04. All right, and finally, each year we elect 3 new first-year directors to the board for a 3-year term. The nominating committee the eligibility requirements to serve as stated in our bylaws, and the committee recognizes them all as qualified, credible, experienced, committed individuals, and most importantly, they are willing to take on the job of director and all the responsibility that comes with it. The nominees for the 3 first-year director positions to be elected for a 3-year term are Chris Clements, class of 79. David Day, class of 86. Gary Neal, class of 75. Justin Scantlin, class of 13. And Dean Williams, class of 77. As a ballot election is required for the 3rd-year director vacancy and the 1st-year director positions, the nominating committee felt it important that our membership and the membership at home had the opportunity to meet and hear from each of the nominees in person prior to the election. We will start by allowing current directors Doug Bach and Dustin Timmerman, who are nominated for the 3rd-year director vacancy, to reintroduce themselves to you. Doug, if you'll come up first, please.
Howdy. Howdy. I'm Doug Bach, class of 84, and as Mandy mentioned, I've served on the board the last 2 years. My son, Randy, graduated from A&M in 18, and my daughter just got her ring in September, so she's on track to graduate next May. So I'm very proud of Papa. I'm a financial advisor, and so sitting on the board the last 2 years has really allowed me to see behind the scenes, all of the different committees, the different fundraising events. And we've got 2 big tasks ahead of us, the capital campaign and continue funding the scholarships. So I welcome the opportunity to serve 1 more year on the board, and I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Now we'll hear from Dustin, if you'll please come up.
Howdy.
Howdy.
As Mandy mentioned, I'm Dustin Timmerman, class of '04. I too served on the board for the last 2 years. This year was a little unusual, but under Bill's leadership, we had a successful year considering. You'd honestly be, the club would be well served for if myself or Doug continued on. So I think there's really there's no loss here on either on either side. You're going to get a good person to continue on. I'm a third generation Aggie. I have 13 members in my family that have attended Texas A&M. We're all very proud of that. No Longhorns, no, no Red Raiders, none of that. Let's see, I'm currently a licensed architect and associate at Beatty Palmer Architects here in San Antonio. I work as a project manager for them. I got into the club because I got a phone call from a buddy when I first moved here in 2005, and I didn't know a whole lot of people, but he invited me out for a happy hour, and I quickly made fast friends with a whole group of young Ags. And so since then, it's been wonderful to be a part of the club. Any chance and any opportunity I've had to serve or to attend events, I've always had a good time doing it. With that said, I appreciate your vote and look forward to seeing all y'all.
Thank you, Dustin. All right, we are gonna now hear from our 5 nominees for first year director. So I'll go back to, whoops, wrong direction. I'll go this way. We'll start in alphabetical order with Chris Clements, class of '79.
Well, howdy, everybody. My story is pretty short and simple. I've been coming to the Ag Club here since the '80s when I moved here. But like all of you guys, you have to raise kids and get on with life. And now that life's a little simpler and everybody's out of the house, I have a little more time in my career path. I'm not quite done yet. And I'm happy to serve the club if you also desire. I'm in the construction business now. I was formerly in the commercial real estate business, so I'm happy to help, not only hitting up some of my friends from the capital campaign, but anything needs to be done with getting this done and actually done, I'd be happy to help. So I have a little more time. I'm ready to serve, and hopefully y'all deem me fit to do that. So thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Next up, David Gay, class of '86.
Howdy, Aggies.
Howdy.
I'm David Gay, class of '86, and like Doug, I'm a financial advisor. I did aerospace and defense contracting work for about 20 years and just recently went through a career change. So it's had a couple of benefits. One is I have a lot more time and flexibility. So I'm looking for outlets to serve different groups, and I love this group. We moved here to San Antonio about 16 years ago, and the only exposure I had previous to the last couple of years coming here to lunch was getting on the Aggie bus a couple of times to go to football games. So since I've been coming to Monday lunch, and I helped out with the golf tournament a little bit, and was out at the clay shoot, I've realized there's many more opportunities to participate with the club. As far as experience goes, besides my professional experience, I have led the Alamo Retriever Club for the last 5 years as their president. And we've got about 50 members. We conduct 3 pretty large retriever events in the area every year, except when COVID is happening. And leading that club has given me the experience to know that the number one responsibility is the fiduciary responsibility, and make sure that people are accountable for any monies that come into the club or go out of the club. So I would love to bring that experience here to Aggie Park, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next is Gary Mill, class of 75.
Well, howdy, eggs.
Howdy.
I'm Gary Neal, class of 75. I guess by looking at the current makeup of the board and our candidates, that would make me the oldest on the Ag. But anyway, I am the second of 3 generations of Aggies. I also have 9 grandkids, of which about half, I think, will become Aggies. They seem to be headed that way. I attended A&M in 70 through 75. I'm one of a few individuals who actually stayed at A&M. I worked for the university for 13 years, worked in private practice there for another 7 years. So I spent a total of 22 years in College Station, either working for or with the university, and I'm very proud of that time. At the end of that time, I did go on to California, where I spent some time, and then I awoke to the situation and came back to Texas. And I've been here since 2000. The only pot of gold I found in California is my wife, Connie. Now, many of y'all will know Connie because she was the only full-time employee here at Aggie Park for a long, long time before our current staff came on board. And working beside her during all those years was a privilege. I really got to know the ins and outs of the park itself and the fundraising, our events. It would be nice to be known as something other than Connie's husband. I won't admit that. But I do have quite a bit of experience in fundraising and working with events, so I hope to apply that. I am retiring. I'm currently a land surveyor and work with the civil engineering firm here in town. I plan on retiring early next year and look forward to having much more time to work here at Aggie Park. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Gary. Next on the list is Justin Scantling, class of 13, and he was not able to be with us in person. I will just let you know that Justin is currently serving as the Young Aggie coordinator on the board. And the year before that, he was the vice coordinator, I think is what they call it. So he's been highly involved in the Young Aggies and a good voice for that group of our membership. Next on the list is Dean Williams, class of 77.
He's back. But why? Well, you know how it is. I have some friends and we get together, and one of the conversations they started having a number of years ago was finding the off-ramp. And there's 3 of us on this. And I felt like listening to him, I felt like Ronald Reagan debating Mondale. We're not going to bring age up in this, and we'll not use it as part of it. We will not talk about how young everybody else is. So, but anyway, why I'm decided to do it, we have a lot of the people that are here in this room and a lot of people watching remotely have a great affinity for this club. There's not anything that's going wrong. There's a lot of good things going forward. We've got great endowments for scholarships. We have great endowments to maintain this park. We have a capital campaign going on. There's a lot of plates spinning on the sticks right now, and keeping all that going is a very important thing. The staff, the leadership have done a great job, and I just would like to come back on the board and give it a little bit of help to push it in the right direction, not wrong direction, excuse me, we're going in the right direction, but to give some of the history and put some faces to the names that we hear, or to give a little background on what we hear. This is a great club, and as Bill had said in his, or one of the people said in the YouTube, in the video, that this is the best club. Jim Upmore mentioned that. There's no place like this ever in the Aggie Nation. And if you don't want to come up and reserve, that's okay. Just come and be a part of it. But this is where my heart is. This is where friends are. This is where we can make more friends. But the other thing is, now the only person that I know not thrilled with this is my wife. But I will say this, that the other day I went on a diet, I lost 25 pounds, and the doctor said I could live 30. I told him 40 more years. And I'm looking for younger friends. And I'm not ready for the off ramp, and I'm looking for younger friends. And I want to participate. I've enjoyed my time here, and I thank you for even considering. But I think there's a great group of people up here, and you can't go wrong selecting any of them. You might want to stop a little short before you get down to the bottom of the page. But I thank you all for your time. Let's keep making this club better every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane, and thanks to all of the candidates who attended here at Monday lunch so that you could speak to our members. I will make it a point to let you know that pretty much every single one of them on their application checked the fact that they would be willing to be considered again next year. So that tells you their level of commitment, as well as they'd be willing to serve on or chair a committee. So that's a really good sign. And as we approach 2021 and the 100th anniversary of the San Antonio A&M Club, I think it is clear that our club is going to be in good hands in the future. And this concludes the nominating committee report. Thank you.